Hello, welcome to today's episode of Marriage Conflicts with Juliet. I hope you enjoyed the previous episode and anticipating for today's episode. Remember, I'll be discussing these topics with Chris. Let's x-ray common mistakes couples make preparatory to marriage. Welcome, Chris.
Nice to be here.
So let's go to the next topic. Poor knowledge of love. I'll start by saying relationships do not fail because of lack of knowledge, because of lack of love, Rather, relationships fail because of lack of knowledge of love. What does love entails? That is what it means. It's not just about I love you, you love me. What do you know about love? The love you're prophesying on someone, what does it mean? What do you think is what I should do while I love this person? Every home desires joy, especially new home. Everyone wants peace and harmony in their home. But how can you achieve it? You can only achieve it by studying love as a topic. If we look at the internet today or look around you at everywhere, you will see many divorced couples or some couples who are on the verge of divorcing each other simply because they lack the knowledge of love. They really do not understand what love is or what it means. The question now is, how many of us ever had the opportunity to consciously prepare ourselves for a relationship or marriage? I'm asking men. Do you ever prepare yourself? I want to go into marriage. How do I go about it? Everything we have been saying in the first episode and in this episode, all the topics we'll be handling, boils down to this poor knowledge of love. Because it is important that whomever you want to marry should be someone you have genuine feelings for, which means you must love this person. Now, as a man, have you ever sat back to wonder, what does it really mean that I love this person? How will I be able to handle my feelings and affections I have for this person when I start? How can I handle my emotions towards this person I want to settle down with? You find out that in marriage classes, so many men tend to be very busy to attend marriage classes. Marriage preparatory classes, go to various churches. Just 2 days ago, I had a priest saying that he's not going to wed any couple in his parish again. Reason being that all the couples he wedded last year, that 90% of them came for him to sign their divorce papers for him. The priest's reasons are that 90% of the couples he wedded last year are filing for divorce. And he made his facts clear that in preparatory classes, not all intending couples attend it, especially the men. Men, why? Why do you not like to attend preparatory classes? You form to be busy instead of you sitting down to be prepared for the marriage you're going into. You claim to be busy. Then after the wedding, your wife will start filing for divorce, or you're filing for divorce. How do you want your marriage to hold water when you did not prepare for it? When you have poor knowledge of love? You have to give yourself opportunity to learn what relationships or marriage are all about. The society provides us with so many institutions which prepares you for marriage. For example, you can meet a relationship counselor to teach you or prepare you for the marriage you intend to go into. You can go to talks or listen to talks, seminars, webinars, workshops. You can download tutorials, meaningful tutorials. You can even join us on our program, on our show, Marriage Conflict, where we will express so many challenges facing marriages to prepare yourself, in order to prepare yourself ahead for your marriage, for a peaceful and lovely home. It is very important, men. Don't make mistake of avoiding marriage preparatory class before your marriage, so that you will make a lovely home and enjoy your marriage. Chris, what do you think about this topic?
Yes, interesting dimension it is taking. Sometimes it is said that women understand love better. I tend to agree with that. To another extent, I may not totally agree with that. Love without understanding is tantamount to lust or greed. Young women aspiring to become married or to become wives, you need to have a better understanding of what is love. Sometimes we misconstrue what love actually is. Love is beyond I love you, I love you. Some ladies will tell you, you better say it. You better tell me I love you. There is a way it makes me feel. Telling you that I love you does not mean that I actually love you. Women are deceived before the marriage or before the marriage rites are performed. The man will be telling you, or the guy will be telling you all manner of lies. He will tell you you are the sugar in their tea, you are the butter on their bread, you are this and that. By the time you lock it in, just the next day, you begin to notice changes. You will now begin to cry to high heavens that he is not what he portrayed a few days or a few weeks ago. So there are 4 stages of love: acquaintance stage, intimacy stage, loss of intimacy stage, and business-like relationship. It is important that I harp on this stage. It's at that stage that you met with the person. So at that time, it can be lost. You can be doing everything, saying all manner of things. You are feeling this, you are feeling that, you are feeling on top of the world. So at that stage, it is at this stage actually that you are supposed to get to know that person, understand the person's personality, another person's feeling. They don't have genuine feeling for others. There are persons who lack emotional intelligence naturally. So when you are in a relationship with such persons, they can only pretend to an extent, after which they will get tired. When they're exhausted, you begin to see their real self. So at this acquaintance stage, you should learn so much about the person. Intimacy stage is at that time that you begin to, you are all loved up, everything is love, and this and that. And the loss of intimacy is at that point when love wanes. There's always a saying that love wanes. It's at that time that friendship is actually supposed to guide. So Love is tolerance. Love is patience. These are attributes that you must imbibe. Their young ladies are aspiring to become wives. Juliet.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. So, nagging. Nagging often happens when someone does not believe in the capability of the opposite person or the spouse doing something properly. It is considered to be the type of bad interpersonal communication in which one person repeatedly pesters or harasses someone to do something. Some men find it difficult to tolerate the other person, especially their wives. And I'm wondering why. Someone you have decided to live all the days of your life with. You know, a woman can spend just 20 years, 19 years, 15, 16 years with their parents. Those that get married very late could spend just 40 years or 50 years, as the case might be, with their parents. But the rest of the woman's life, she will be spending it with you, the man. Assuming you married a lady who is 25 years of age and she lived all her life to fullest at 100. Believe me, you have spent the better percentage of her life with her because she's going to live with you for 75 years. Now, someone whom you have sworn to live together with forever, why won't you tolerate that person? Why won't you be able to accept what the person does and correct their mistakes with love? Why would you persistently talk about one thing or the mistakes the person makes over and over again? Why? I am asking the men. It is a habit that men can break, a very bad habit. Let me tell you some points, some key points to note down if you want to break a nagging habit. Step away from the situation, the point of situation. Assuming you found out your wife messed up the room and you come into the room to find her just lying down, well, politely tell her to arrange the room and walk away. You can go to the sitting room, watch movies, do things that interest you and not stay there pestering her, persistently nagging, talking to her about it and making her feel bad about it. Address the underlying issues in your relationships. Don't buckle up issues. Don't allow issues to pressurize you. Bottling up issues cause a lot of misharm at home. You find some men beating their wives. You find some men harassing their children. It's because they've been bottling up issues. Talk about it. Address it. Sit your spouse down and talk about it. Get the issues open. Get it straight and open. Don't be the kind of a person that will just keep quiet at an issue and say, oh, because I want peace to reign. No, talk about it. Let it open. Break the big issue down. No matter how big the trouble, the challenges in your home are, break them down stage by stage. Analyze it with your spouse. Other than shouting all over the house about it, going out to come back, and you keep on pestering your spouse about it, it is very, very wrong. Now, some young men tend to hide this nagging attitude of them towards their spouse, prior to marriage. I mean, the woman might not live with the man before they get married. So she will find it very difficult to know if her spouse-to-be is nagging. Because the man will be petting her all over the place, the sweetness of falling in love, newly loved birds. So the woman will not really get the knowledge about the man nagging until she must have married him. So it is better that a man who knows that he nags should go to counseling classes, read up, watch tutorials on how to help himself to stop nagging before he gets married. You have to prepare yourself for marriage so that you don't bring in a woman whom will come in and find out that you nag and decide to walk out on you because of your nagging. It is very, very important. Thank you. Chris, let's hear from you.
Yes, Juliet, you have substantially touched this point. Nagging. Nagging affects both male and female, but to a large extent, it affects its actual. It is womanly to nag, especially when frustrated. However, there has to be a self-control or discipline. Dear young ladies aspiring to become wives, watch it at that time when you you quarrel over a little thing, when you make the man feel uncomfortable, when you say all manner of things to him at the slightest provocation, you are already shouting to high heavens. There are a lot of young ladies who do that. Nagging regularly can lead to violence in marriage. Nagging is tantamount to abuse. So it's at that point that you say all manner of things. If the man is not patient, if the man is the emotional type, the man that get the type of person or the kind of person that gets quick to be emotional, you might lose it at that point. If it's a type of person, the highly temperamental kind of person, then you know that you are in for it. Some people will say you go dey collect beating
Woto woto.
every now and then. You go dey collect am woto woto for your body. I I know some people, some marriages. I've witnessed marriages, couple who fight every now and then. Is because she cannot help herself. She's always on top of her voice. She's always speaking here and there. The man may not say anything. The man may be quiet at all this period that the woman will be saying, trying to bring down heaven on earth. But sometimes the man knows that the only thing that will keep her quiet is by beating her. The moment the man raises his hand, he will beat her, beat her, beat her, beat her. She'll be happy. But naturally, they will now make up. After the beating, the woman will submit. They will have intercourse, and everywhere will become quiet and peaceful again. It happens. I've seen that happen in real life. So, but that is not the best because it is in the course of such nagging. It's actually the nagging that leads to abuse or violence. And we have seen and heard situations that warranted to or that led to death, and that family will not be at peace again. There will never be peace in such a home once violence have erupted. Ladies and women that possesses the nagging trait or character would more likely have a broken home or divorce. Proverbs 21 verse 9 says, "It is better to live in a desert than with a quarrelsome or nagging wife." This is even what the scripture says. We encourage or advise young ladies aspiring to become wives to watch it. It's a matter of discipline. It's a matter of the self-discipline or self-control. Control your tongue. control what you say, because it's even as you say them that your children will take after you. Most of the men that nag are as a result of what they learned from their parents, and that is why the Igbo adage says, or loosely translates, when the mother goat eats the leaf, the child will be looking at the mouth. So we advise that intending couples, young men and women aspiring to become couple, should watch out for all these points that we have raised and see which one affects them and work towards dealing with them in order to have a successful marriage or successful relationship or a good relationship. Having gone through all this doesn't mean that you will not have challenges in your relationship, but these are pointers to what are likely going to be challenges for you, for your spouse, and for that relationship that you are entering or that you have entered.
Thank you, Chris, for having us trade those points. And even the Bible verse you gave us. That's wonderful. But one thing I wouldn't subscribe to is any man that raises his hand that's a woman. Like you said, you go to collect wutu. Man, I don't like that slang at all, because it's not right for any man to lay his hand on his wife or his woman or any woman, knowing full well that the strength capacities are not the same. Yes, I know some ladies can beat up a man, but generally, women are weaker vessels. So, no matter what a woman does to any man, the man should desist from laying his hands on such a woman. Remember the story that goes like this: a woman who constantly had issues with her husband went to her pastor, and her pastor gave her a substance, a liquid substance in a bottle to always drink whenever there's an issue between her and her husband, that she shouldn't swallow it, rather spit it out when the issue must have calmed down. The woman accepted, went home, and she did as she was instructed. Whenever her husband starts up an issue, she drinks the water, puts it in her mouth, and when the issue must have calmed down, she will go and spit out the water. She did this for consecutively for some days, and she found out that the medicine was working out for her, because the issues she was having in her marriage was gradually dying down. She went back to the pastor to tell him that, pastor, this holy water he gave me is working very well. And the pastor was like, oh, it is not a medicine, it is an holy water that I put in that container. Just a method I wanted you to adopt to help your marriage. What am I saying in effect? In effect is, whether a man or a woman in a marriage who wants peace in their home, always take a gulp of water in your mouth whenever trouble comes. Hold it in your mouth. Hold it like this in your mouth. When your wife or your husband is ranting, trying to bring the house down, just go and take a gulp of water and hold in your mouth. Don't talk to him or her. When the person is tired, you go and spit it out, just for peace to reign in your home. Because when this person finds out that you're not saying anything, you do it the first time, the second time, the third time, the person will begin to look at him or herself as if they are stupid, and they will tend to work on themselves, not to be the one to be looking for trouble. I believe it works. Why don't you try it? Thank you, Chris, my co-discussant. Thank you, my viewers, for watching today's episode. Look out for the next episode. You can also like and share this video for the sake of restoring peace and harmony in many homes in the world. See you next time. Bye.